We are now at Tacloban Airport. It's kind of noisy. As you can see, it's right by the sea, and that's the reason why it was demolished by Typhoon Haiyan or Yolanda. Back then, the airport manager was our former own airport manager, Efren Nagrama, who is now the regional manager for Visayas. He was the one who rebuilt the airport. Hey guys, it's early morning and I'm walking downtown. I'm trying to get a feel of what it is like here basically here in Tacloban, and I'll get some footages for you guys around 6:03. So it's still early morning. There's not a lot of people around. There we go. You can see there's not a lot of people around. So I am right now at the plaza of Tacloban City, and I just walked for a bit. It's not a big city. It's more like Calibus. Although Calibus not a city, it's I think way bigger and more urbanized than Tacloban. Now. There are some things that I've noticed, and this was during my training in Japan for disaster risk reduction management. And the thing is, there's only a few, not a lot of changes that went on in rehabilitating the city, or mainly because it has more people than the city that it was compared to, like Minami, Sanriku, and some other cities in Japan. Also, there's this thing called, it's more of the attitude of Filipinos. You know, they were able in Japan to relocate a city. Most of the residential areas are, you know, they just raised it down to the ground right after the earthquake and tsunami in 2011. What the government did was buy land, the residential land of the people on the hazard zone, and then of course they gave the people the money, and after giving them, for those who has enough money, they were able to get lands and residential and make build houses in zones considered as safe zones, identified by Japanese authorities. Now, that being said, that means that the government doesn't have enough money then, because they gave the money to the people, right? So what they did was buy the lands that were they already bought it, but what they did was probably they sold the land and the rights to private companies. That's on the lower level, on the ground level of those. That means those are in the danger areas. And by saying that, by making that, the companies were able to build factories and some of those, you know, offices. And the thing with companies is that they do have earthquake insurance. They do have insurances in terms of emergency and disaster management, and that makes it possible for them. For private residences, they don't have that, and that's what they did. So the government was able to get back the money that they, bought from the people, that they gave to the people by buying lands, by selling the land to private companies. And now all the residential areas are in the safe zones, and the commercial areas are in the lower zones, which is really on formerly areas that's considered residential. Now that's the case of Japan. Now in the case of let's say Tacloban, it didn't change. It should have, but with the same amount of budget, if I'm not mistaken, that city in Japan was able to change a lot. Again, it's a Philippine attitude that has to be changed. People doesn't want changes. They don't want to relocate. They don't want to go somewhere else. Even if it's dangerous in this area, they would rather stay here. Now, the proximity of the city to the sea is really palpable. You can see the sea. It's probably maybe less than 100 meters from where I'm sitting, from this park, that you can see the, well, basically the sea. And I was able to get some drone shots earlier, and I saw the seas by getting some panning view and B-rolls from the drone shots. And that's about it. Filipinos would usually say for humanitarian reason that they shouldn't be moved. But you know, in Japan, it's for that same reason that they should be moved. And that's basically what it says for the Japanese. In comparison to the Filipinos, there has to something has to change, and it's basically you have discipline to change. That is to say that we have to change our discipline, we have to change our attitude, and stop using the word humanitarian just to justify anything that's not right, actually. So that's a piece of my mind for this vlog. As you know, I am a disaster reduction management officer, and that's some of those things frustrates me. There's a lot of things that have to change.
But nung dumating na yung nag-landfall, at dumating na yung tubig, actually I didn't even see it. It was my men that pointed out, because we were in the coastal area and they saw the big wall of water coming in, and they dragged me inside the building, and we had to punch through a hole in the ceiling just to get up and save ourselves. No? There were 14 of us, 7 of us made it up. The other 7 stayed down, but they survived because they went behind a wall that fortunately did not did not fall or get destroyed. Then I waited up in the ceiling for about 2.5 hours. I've been feeling na, when will I die? That's the feeling. I've experienced many close calls before, but usually it only takes a few seconds. You know, I ride a motorcycle, I used to race and all that, and ito talaga, you're waiting, kailan ka na lang mamamatay. Kinakausap ko yung mga tauhan ko noon. Nung nasa taas, sumisigaw ako sa kanila, kamusta na doon yung area na yun, silipin mo to. Lahat sila, walang tumitingin sa akin dahil umiiyak na pala sila because they were afraid.
Hey guys, I'm still in Tacloban and I'm actually on top of a ship. It's MV Eva, and it's the same ship that you saw in the video where the ship went into the slum areas and into the, not actually slum area, but into the shoreline because it was brought by the typhoon. So I'm actually standing here, right there. So I'm with Alan and some of the guys from Libertad from Antique, and we figured that we can check out the sites. We pulled in our resources and we are here actually. So you can see these guys here. They're also part of the DRM system. Marlon's my classmate. So basically, this is what happened here, and we are in an urban setting. The ship was brought here. What remained of the ship was only the portion of it. So quick rundown, we are at San Monica Bridge. This is actually not good because we stopped a bit of traffic here. We're gonna zip fast, take some video. Again, this is San Monica Bridge, and as you can see, there's a lot of traffic behind us. So basically, we are at the Astrodome of Leyte. Not sure if this is Tacloban or Palo, but I think this is Tacloban. And this is rumored to be the area where a lot of people died because it was used as an evacuation center. But according to the locals here, especially one of our friends from the academy, he mentioned that it was the information was false. Maybe because it wasn't this area here. This is not the one that the media was talking about. It could be a basketball court in one of the barangays in Tacloban. But this one, as he said, there were a few around, but not inside. There were a few casualties, but not inside. I'm inside the Astrodome, and according to one of our friends from the academy, he said that the water was already on the stairs there. You have to remember that we are high actually, about maybe 1 story high, and the water already reached the 1 story mark during the storm surge. And I'm just walking around with some of the guys. Alan is there, and we're trying to find out what went on when it happened here. This is not actually a working tour. This is just a some sort of group thing that we went through as we go around Tacloban. But we found out the reason of what happened. That's the river, the seafront there. So that's ready to cross.